requested to talk to, and I know Denver's very interested in him, and it sounded like, this is a place he'd love to come to. So, but it's a little bit out of his control.
Okay. You like this?
Oh, please trade up for J.J.
You don't think he'll be there?
No!
I do.
At 12?
Yeah.
I'll bet you. I'll give you 5 to 1 on any amount of money. I'll give you 5 to 1 right now.
I think he's gonna fall.
There is no. Okay, we can talk about it off the air. There is no chance J.J. McCarthy is available at 12. Whether or not he should be is a different story. There's no chance, and so you'd have to trade up to get him. And please mortgage your future for J.J. McCarthy, Sean Payton. Probably have to trade with you guys. Probably have to trade with New England.
Why is there no chance?
Because the entire idea behind the Vikings getting an extra first-round pick was to move up to get a quarterback. Their first-round pick is at 11. Somehow, if they don't move up to draft J.J. McCarthy, they are certainly drafting him at 11. So there is no chance he is there at 12. None. The Bo Nix, Michael Penix part of the draft, quarterback-wise, are the people we're talking about at 12. So, listen, Sean Payton is drafting a quarterback. He is not going into his second season drawing dead at the quarterback position. So they'll probably, you either overdraft Bo Nix or you trade up to draft somebody else. And I think it would be a terrible move, but because, for my entire life I've disliked the Broncos and their arrival, I hope they make bad moves. But that's where I stand.
I said it yesterday. Go have a conversation with ownership. We're going to be bad this year.
Brew wants them to be the worst team in the league.
But Shedeur Sanders
that's not a plan.
What?
Being the worst team in the football is not a plan. You can't just say we're going to be the worst team in the league.
This is a plan, and I'm not down. I'm not as down on J.J. McCarthy as you. I think he's more athletic than people give him credit for. He's got ability.
Sure.
But is that a great situation for him? And if it's not, now you're locked into him for a few years, and Shedeur and others are going to go away. So, look, they're not going to be any good this year.
Look, we got to look at the quarterback room and just pull it up. And I know we mentioned it, but when you really look at the quarterback room, they got to do something. So Stidham, he's played 5 years, he's only started 4 games.
Some people used to
start
Zach's only won 12 games, and he's lost 33, and we've seen that's a pretty good cross-section of playing. And then you got DiNucci, who started 1 game in 2020. So, and of course, you've got Russell Wilson's $55 million is sitting in the room, too, of dead money. So you have to figure it out. Now, the issue is they don't have a second-round draft pick because they gave that up for Sean Payton when they got him, the first round last year, the second round this year. The problem is if you don't love the guy, if you don't really believe that guy can come in and start, then you're just in a different version of what's in the rest of that room.
Yes.
So there has to be a conviction that guy can come in and do it.
You have a question?
Sure.
Herbert and Mahomes are right there. Are they drafting J.J. McCarthy supposedly in this world and think that he's going to be better than those guys or on par with those guys? Or otherwise Sean Payton's like, I'm cool with having the 3rd worst quarterback in the AFC West.
Sean's got to do something. Sean was brought there to fix Russell Wilson, and he didn't. Sean was brought there to fix some of the other offensive problems, and he didn't. So now he's got to go and legitimize this idea that he is a quarterback guru, and he's got to take some young talent and make it work. Otherwise, you're paying $20 million a year for 2 years. You've got all this dead money for a quarterback you're supposed to make work, and you've given up a 1st and 2nd round draft pick, and now you've got nothing? How do you justify that?
The Broncos are in a spot where they're either going to have to mortgage future draft capital to move up to get a quarterback or take the 5th or 6th quarterback off the board. That's what's happening tomorrow night. One of those two things.
But if you don't believe that McCarthy is that much better than Penix or
that's fine.
Nix,
then you're going to wait.
And you sit and wait, and you don't mortgage.
You don't mortgage the future.
Patriots are collectively trying to decide what to do at 3. Now, to be kind, let's just say the decision-making process a little murky. Robert Kraft said as a fan, just as a fan, because he's a fan before he's the owner of the Patriots, he wants to get a QB. And Elliott Wolf, who's the acting GM, because he hasn't been given the job
Yes, they interview for it after the draft.
Yeah, after the draft. So he knows that, and he's supposed to be the decision maker. Now, there's also a report that Jonathan Kraft
What's
is,
his background?
quote, heavily involved. Well, he's part of 6 Super Bowls. He knows what he's doing. Heavily involved in decision making. But Tom Curran said, no, it's more business as usual. So it's a bit of a mess. Nick, your reaction?
Nobody knows what they're doing. Listen, here's the downside. There is a downside to having a power vacuum, right? You have Bill Belichick who runs everything. You push him out while smearing him in a documentary, right? That's part of the process here to make sure proper credit is given for this dynasty. We all know, I guess, it starts with Kraft and his kid. And now folks have to do the jobs Bill was doing. So Gerard Mayo is going to be the head coach, and I wish Gerard luck. He's a blank slate. You have no idea. Like, to me, he's the same resume essentially D'Amico had. D'Amico's done a great job, but we also his same resume Antonio Pierce had. I don't know if Antonio's going to do a great job. Just, linebackers for your team. Great, no problem. But then who's going to run things? Who's going to do personnel? Well, Robert Kraft's kid decided Ron Wolf's kid's going to do it with the help of Al Groh's kid. Got it. But now Robert Kraft's kid wants to help as well. And in my experience, that typically is not the right structure to make the biggest decision the Patriots will have made for the last 10 years or the next 10 years. Which is what
10 years.
Well, you hope to not. Do you hope to be drafting the top 3 again anytime soon?
No, but I mean.
Okay, so it's a pretty big decision. Pretty big decision. And so, I know what I would do if I were them, which is hold an auction for the pick. But when the boss wants you to draft a quarterback, that probably means you're going to end up drafting a quarterback. And when the boss's son is overseeing the process, they're almost assuredly going to be drafting a quarterback.
Yeah, you listed a hierarchy of children, and the hierarchy where you're the owner's son, that one wins.
Yeah, no,
that's how it works.
Yeah.
And look, there's no power vacuum. You go and you hire a young head coach, and you hire a young GM to solidify power, and then that power is now solidified in ownership's hands. And I get it. For 20-plus years, they haven't had that ability to insert their ideas, to do the things they want to do, because they had so much success with the way that Bill did it. And I'm sure, like anybody who owns something, they want to be able to have some input on it. And what ownership doesn't realize is that when they make suggestions, they'll say, hey, I'm just suggesting this. It's not a suggestion to the people who are on the football side. It's okay, we better go give him what he wants. Mm-hmm. Now, if it works, they're like, hey, didn't I have a great idea? And if it doesn't, it's like, it was only a suggestion. Why'd you do that? and that's always the case. Like, well, I thought that's what you want us. I was just suggesting it. And it's not really, I wasn't saying you had to do it. I just thought it might have been a good idea to explore.
No, I agree with that. Look, they obviously had the plan for the head coach when they got rid of Bill.
Yep.
They didn't have the full plan for the front office, and that's the problem. And like you said, Elliott Wolf, can you imagine being in this position where you don't have the job yet? It's going to be reevaluated after the draft, and the owner said, "I'd love a quarterback." Like, it's crazy. It's madness.
I don't mind that part. It's a great job interview.
Yeah.
You get to see how he runs the room. You get to see how he works.
But then don't
from an ownership perspective, it's great.
Right, but don't muddy the water by then telling them what to. If I know I'm interviewing with you, and I'm about to, you want to see how well I do in this situation, but then you tell me what you want me to do. No matter what I think is best, if I want the job, I'm going to do what will make you happy.
Yeah, and the problem with evaluating evaluators is you really don't get a full view of who the player is for 2 or 3 years anyways.
Right.
You really need to let him have the job for a couple years to truly evaluate how well he did.
Big whatever.
What do you mean?
Big whatever.
Why
what
is
do you
that
mean?
a big whatever?
You have a fan do it. I'm worried about pick 34. The last 4 34s, Laporta, Christian Watson, Elijah Moore, Michael Pittman. I think 34 is hard to pick. I don't think 3 is hard to pick. Hey, is Caleb there? No, he's gone on the Bears. Like, oh, okay, that's what I thought. Is Drake May there? No. Yeah, he's available. Good, we'll take him. Is Jaden there?
Hey, is Trey Lance there?
Right.
Oh.
There's 3 guys.
Yeah.
Take the one that's there.
Wait, but
This is like we're making this so crazy.
But wait a
There's
second.
3
Look at
guys.
how many failures at 2 and 3 you've had.
But also
Don't overcomplicate it. There are 3 guys.
But there's also this part
down
of
to
it.
2 guys.
There's also this part of it. We have seen in the last few years, we saw the New York Jets trade the 6th pick and 3 second-rounders for the 3rd pick. That's the precedent if the Giants want to move up. We saw the Niners trade the 12th pick and 2 firsts and a 3rd for the 3rd pick.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Well, no, not you said it doesn't matter.
If you want to give me multiple firsts
but
for
that's
3,
available.
I'll take it.
But that is definitively available.
They said it's not available.
It is Well, someone's going to trade multiple firsts for a pick later.
I'll take it.
Everybody thinks trades are so easy to make. There's got to be someone that's willing to give you what you want.
There is going to be a multiple first-round pick trade to move into the top 10
not
this year.
always that easy.
Okay, but you're not going to because the guy making the decision was told by the owner to draft a quarterback.
No.
That's why it's a problem.
We are going to draft a quarterback next year then.